Hi guys, welcome back to Ben's Home Video, where today we're looking at the 1985 sub-genre starting Girls with Guns martial arts classic by Eureka. It's Yes Madam, aka Police Assassins, aka In the Line of Duty 1. Yeah. And as you can see, got a change of clothes on, because it took so long to do Yes Madam, I actually managed to add this on the end. That's right, Royal Warriors by Eureka, 1986. Whoa, be tagged on the end. You guys know the drill now, and I've asked you to like this video or subscribe to my channel. But you know it's always appreciated if you do. So yes, madam. It's Yes Madam by Eureka. It's a recent release. It's not new. It came out last year, which would be 2022. But what have we released? So original artwork, and that is by, I don't know, Darren Wheeling, which I do like. Font's lame though. The font does ruin it. And then you've got reversible cover. Natural one, so I've flipped it round to that. Love the pink on that. It's perfectly faded and 80s. And then you've got the disc and a little booklet. I haven't looked through it yet, but it's only small, so I'll probably look through it after this video. And let's just look at that again. That is perfect, even down to the writing. That other the new artwork had that writing on, I think I'd love it just as much, but it's tips over the edge. It stars Michelle Yeoh and Cynthia Rothrock, both in their first ever leading roles, and what a great job they do. Michelle Yeoh has just won a Golden Globe, so well done her. She has my heart. She really does. She's just perfect, isn't she? Let's go back into this. Sorry. Yes. So, a little minor criticism. It has a 5.1 track, but in the English one only. They don't have 5.1 in the Cantonese, which has annoyed me, because if it's foreign language, I always watch with subs. So, yeah. Eureka. Bastards. Bit rate was quite comfortable. It was check my notes. It was between 28 and 35 megabytes per second, which is pretty healthy for a Blu-ray. Notes better. Yeah, I think you're going to be happy with the way it looks. It reminds you of why Blu-ray is still good, because I watched Terrifier 2 on Blu-ray the other day, and I thought it looked like shit. Yes, I know it's a low budget film and they probably did the best they could or whatever, but it's the limitation of digital, I suppose, because it was just bad. And that's a 2022 Blu-ray. And I was watching it thinking, have they always looked like this? And I've just been watching thinking they look fine. No, this is what Blu-ray should look like. From the get-go, this film, you know it's going to look good. You've got an opening scene in the sky with a bit of light. Colour reproduction mostly perfect, I'd say, for Blu-ray. The colours pop when they need to, but obviously not as much as a 4K would, but it's fine. Reds look good, greens look good, skin tones mostly natural looking. The black levels are really, really good for a Blu-ray, and white levels are mostly good, so you're going to be happy with it. Film grain, pretty spot on. Very healthy layer. I liked it. I liked it a lot. I've got some screen caps, but I couldn't find a good comparison one to a previous release, so it is just showing you the this Blu-ray. Hit it. Yeah, as I said, it's just a nice looking film, nothing special, but it retains that 80s look to it, I think, which is what you want. Girls with Guns. As I said, it has a 5.1 track for the English dub, only a 2.0 for the Cantonese dub, even though there's two choices of theatrical or home video release. And when I went on, tried them both, to me the home video release sounded a bit better than theatrical. Your mileage may vary. So I clicked onto the English one, just have a little listen. The 5.1 does sound very good. The choice of voice acting was a bit odd in my opinion. It was a little bit too cartoony, but that's fine. That's obviously the way they wanted to go. But I'd accidentally left the subtitles on. I wasn't even close to what they were saying. Like, I suppose some of the stuff meant the same thing, but only just. It's almost like a completely different film. So I had them on for, I want to say, 2 to 3 minutes, but I couldn't stand anymore. But the general surround sound of that was very good. So if you're going for the English dub, you'll be happy with the surround sound on that. But if you're cool like this guy, you'll listen to the original Cantonese, and it's fine. 2.0, it's not the best stereo mix you'll ever hear, but it's pretty good. You can hear sounds coming from left and right. Dialogue's mostly clear. Yeah, it's fine. Not much bass, but I don't think there's much bass in the film full stop. Yeah. So I'm gonna give this a 4 out of 5, which I think is very good, but the sound let it down. So try harder next time, Eureka, because there's 3 more of these coming out because it's part of the In the Line of Duty series. Even though I think the first 2 weren't officially called that, but I think they're part of it. They're now being retconned into at least, so it's technically in the Line of Duty one. Hopefully the other releases have at least the option of a 5.1 Cantonese. We shall see. And we shall review. My thoughts on this is very enjoyable. It's a bit silly at times, which I suppose a lot of martial arts Hong Kong 80s stuff could be, but it's not like stupid. It's fun. You're gonna, I mean, and obviously Cynthia Rothrock and Michelle Yeoh are beautiful, perfect actors in nearly every sense of the word. So yeah, it's a good fun film. There's like a scene where a guy's been hung over the edge, and you can clearly see the wire attached around his waist to keep him safe. Fine, it's cheap Hong Kong 80s schlocky fun. It don't take over. I mean, that was meant to be like a Hollywood blockbuster. Then I would be annoyed at it, but it's fine. There's one fight scene, I think it's only the one, where you can clearly see there's male stuntmen for some of the kind of hard hitting moments. So it looks a bit silly, but again, it's fine. It wasn't meant to be a mega hit at the time, so you're going to enjoy it. So if you've seen these films that I'm about to list, you'll like Yes Madam, or if you've seen Yes Madam, not these other films, you'll like them. So the list starts with Police Story, Police Story 2, Police Story 3, Super Cop, Tiger Cage, Tiger Cage 2, Tiger Cage 3, Meals on Wheels, Wheels on Meals, Crime Story. They're all kind of cop type films and stuff, and they're fun and martial arty and whatnot. So, seen any of them, you like Yes Madam. Seen Yes Madam, you liked it. You'll like most of them. I assume they're all good. They're all good. They're all good. You know they're good. They're Hong Kong 80s, early 90s martial arts. It was the time to make kind of silly films. One last thing before we go. The outfits in Yes Madam. They are so beautifully 80s. It's just stunning. Like, that's how people should dress now, especially female cops. Yeah. My rating of this film is a 4 out of 5. Really enjoyed it, and I think most people watching this will too. Give it a go if you haven't. Get a load of that guy. Anyway, now we've done that, let's move on to Raw Warriors. Ooh. Yeah, that's the new artwork by Darren Wheeling. Original artwork, which isn't as good as Yes Madam, let's be honest, but it's fine. At the back. Got a little booklet on the inside, which I haven't read yet, and then decent disc. I'm happy with it, to be fair. So it has a Cantonese mono track, It has two versions, the theatrical version and the home video version. Also has mono English track and a 5.1 English track. The bitrate was about 25 to 35 megabytes per second, peaking at about 38-ish. So right off the bat, this doesn't look as good as Yes Madam, in my opinion. It does get better as it goes along, and you're generally going to be fine with it, but I think Yes Madam has just a bit of something about it that looks a bit better. Especially early on, the outdoor scene at the very beginning is grain heavy, and it looks a bit naff, but like way too grain heavy. But that kind of seems to steady itself out, so maybe that bit of the scan, or sorry, that bit of the original film, slightly more damaged or something, because it seemed to only be that bit and one other bit during the film, so I'm just assuming it's to do with film degradation. The gets soft at times, is what I was going to say, sorry. So at times, not very often, it has a real soft look to it, but very fleeting. Black levels are quite good. Colours are mostly accurate, and I'd say whites look pretty good for a Blu-ray. You're going to have a good time. So the sound, like I mentioned earlier, it's the same as like Yes Madam, and it frustrates me. So they've obviously got the tracks separate enough to do a 5.1. I don't understand why they don't do a Cantonese audio track with a 5.1. They're just a mono. I tried. There's a couple of others on there, but it was more like audio description stuff, I think. But I tried 4 different other tracks. So the theatrical and the home video release of the Cantonese, the mono English, and the 5.1 English. Couldn't tell much difference between the two Cantonese ones, except sometimes the music was slightly different. I don't know if that's the only difference. To me, the home video one had a bit more punch to it, but I'm not sure if that was just me thinking that. But the English mono was quite good, kind of serious done. And then the 5.1, I assume is different voice actors to the mono, but it's like a comedy version. I didn't get it. Like, if any of you used to watch Eurotrash, you're probably not old enough to. If any of you used to watch Eurotrash, those overdubs, it reminded me of that, and that ain't good. It made a quite serious film seem comical, and it's like even in like some more really serious moments, it's like stupid. I didn't rate the 5.1 dub very much, but the actual 5.1 is really good, and that's why they should have had a Cantonese version. Eureka! Fuck! Slightly off track. The dialogue on the mono tracks were quite clear, so man, Dabby, Dozer. I'm going to give this score of Royal Warriors by Eureka 3.5 out of 5. Must do better. So my personal opinion on this film is great. I loved it. Great opening, great music for the opening. Sherry Yeo has my heart, like I said earlier on this video, which was a few weeks ago now. I love her. Not quite as good as Yes Madam, but also at times much better. It's got a much more serious tone to it, which I don't prefer necessarily, but it was nice to have like a slight difference to it. By the way, if you're wondering why I'm doing both these, it's because it's In the Line of Duty 1 and 2, even though they weren't called that at the time. In the Line of Duty 3 was the first one to be called In the Line of Duty, so it is part and parcel of the same thing, even though different stories completely. So it has a more serious tone than Yes Madam, and I'm fine with that. It works well because like it's got some nice comic relief in Yes Madam, but this it's a little tiny bit of comic relief for so often, but not much. I think it's a very well done film. I like the story, I like the action. It's good. If you like kind of 80s Hong Kong films, you'll love this. Fine, it's a 4 out of 5 film. And thanks for watching, guys, for this double bubble edition of Ben's home video.